Hey sweet face, and welcome back to Allison TV. If you are new here, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. So y'all already know, before I get into the video, I have to let y'all know that this makeup look is up on my channel. It was uploaded Monday, so make sure you check it out and show some love. So today we are going to be doing a little mental health check. If you guys watch my 8 areas of self-care video, you know I talked a little bit about New Year's depression. And so since it is the end of the month, I wanted to do a more in-depth video to kind of help some people identify certain types of mental health behaviors, because not everybody knows the meaning of like depression or anxiety, like real depression and real anxiety. It is so important to stay on top of your mental health, especially during the times that we are going through. So this is a little video to kind of help people understand that, you know, depression just isn't you being sad for a little bit or you having a hard day. I feel like a lot of people kind of misuse the word depressed. Not saying that certain things can't make you depressed, but some people, you know those people. I'm also in this video going to be very honest and upfront about some of the things that I've dealt with, so that it can maybe help you or relate to you, so that you can understand that maybe you need to take time to get some help. So let's get straight into the video. So before I even get started into this, I just want to say that no matter what your skin tone is, you can battle with depression and anxiety. It is nothing to be ashamed of, and it is okay to get help. And I'm just speaking on this from personal experience, from what I've gone through and from what I know people close to me have gone through. And it's just so much worse when you're battling it and also dealing with family or families of certain race. Because I'm gonna be honest and upfront, not a lot of black people believe in mental health. They don't want to believe that they are that weak sometimes. And I've had people actually tell me this. I've been to therapy and I've listened to my therapist talk about it, about, you know, why I've dealt with some of the things that I've dealt with from certain family members. I just wanna let you know before we even get into this, that no matter what your skin tone is, you can battle with depression, you can battle with anxiety. It is okay to get help, and you can get through it. So, I wouldn't necessarily say depression is just when you get sad. What depression looks like is when you withdraw from your family. And I'm not talking about like, you know, last week we had the black sheep video, you know, stuff going on, which that can contribute to you being depressed. But even if you have a great relationship with your family, I mean, all family have their problems, but you can have a great relationship with your family and love your family. You're just withdrawn from your family. Depression looks like fatigue, diarrhea, changes in your appetite, changes in your sleep pattern, restlessness, physical pain, when your concentration is just constantly off, when you lose interest in the stuff that you love and the stuff that you enjoy, thoughts of ending your life. I'm not going to use the S word here because this is YouTube, so we got to keep it cute, but you know, thoughts of taking your own life, being irritable, irrational, excessive guilt, excessive crying, and unknown sadness. So when I deal with depression myself, I definitely have diarrhea. It is not fun. I lose a lot of weight because my appetite changes and I'm not eating as much, but I'm constantly going to the bathroom, and then I get sick because I'm getting dehydrated. My depression can sometimes come off to others as laziness when it's really not. I can't make myself it's like, it's the worst thing ever because I want to get up, I want to do things, I have things that I need to do. And this was a lot of my struggle in the beginning of trying to do YouTube and going through depression, because but it was like, I need to get up and film, I need to get up and, you know, make this makeup video, do this, do that, and I just couldn't. Even fun stuff, like I didn't feel like going out. Like I'm a type of person, I look how I feel. And so because I feel like I look disgusting and I'm not trying to do anything about it, I don't want to go out because I know I'm not going to put forth the effort to look decent. Very, very, very irritable. Very irritable. I used to have thoughts of taking my own life, but me and God talked about it, and that's just a promise that I promised myself I would never get that low. And if I did, I would go get serious help. But that's something that I used to struggle with a lot growing up. Excessive guilt. I wouldn't say I feel guilty. I feel like a burden on people. And I feel like people are always mad at me. Like when I'm going through that stage, I feel like because I'm depressed and I don't really want to be bothered, I feel like nobody wants to be bothered with me. When I go through my depression, I deal with it on my own. I don't talk to people about it, mainly because of some of the things that I've experienced being Black and depressed. But because I feel like no one cares, I know now that at some point, like, it's just a phase and it's gonna come out. But there's just various time frames. People think that you get depressed and, oh, you know, you're happy this day, but then you're depressed this day. No, like, people who really get depressed and deal with it often, you feel it coming, even when you don't want it to happen, even when you have happy things going on in your life, you have no reason to be depressed. Like, it's no joke. And it could last anywhere for, I remember the longest I've ever dealt with it was maybe 3 months. And that's just from what I can remember, because as I've gotten older, I realized that a lot of things, or a lot of times when I feel depressed, I black it out of my mind. Now, don't get me wrong, I remember a lot of things that happened, or vaguely remember, but a lot of things that bother me, or like as I grow up, I don't just get over it, I just block it out of my mind. Like it just didn't happen. But depression doesn't just come onto you for a day or nothing like that. You can be completely fine and then just be depressed for 2 weeks at a time, a week at a time. Like, it varies. I would say changes in my sleep pattern, but well, yeah, I sleep more because I stay in bed. I'm in bed all the time. I'm always tired, and so when you're just constantly laying down, you go to sleep. So I sleep more. And the last thing that I would say I deal with, is excessive crying. And when I say excessive, I have episodes, like, and it's nothing crazy or anything, but there's been times where I've been driving, and it happens a lot when I'm driving. I don't know if I just think of stuff or I don't know, but I can be driving and then I just start crying. I will cry until I puke, and then I have to call somebody, and they're like, well, why are you sad? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, if I can't before I call somebody, I try to think of why I'm really sad so that I can be like, this is why I'm sad. But most of the times, I don't know why. And I didn't even understand how that was a thing until I talked to my grandmother. And she experienced something similar. Like, she kind of went through, because I finally opened up to my grandma, and she opened up to me about her depression and how it affected her. But there'd be times I'd be on my way to school, like driving to school or driving home, and I would be completely fine, but out of nowhere I just get emotional and I start crying, and I don't know exactly why I'm crying, and I'm trying to pinpoint, like, why am I upset right now? And so I just came to the conclusion that I guess sometimes I just need to cry, because I would never understand why I'd be so upset. So I would just, because I had started going to therapy, I kind of just said that, you know, one thing me and my therapist understood was I didn't get to deal with certain trauma as a child or growing up. And so I just feel like now I'm just being emotional because I've never dealt with certain things, and I'm not even necessarily thinking of that at the moment when I'm crying. I don't know, guys. To this day, I'm still kind of cloudy, but that's just me. That's my take on it. That's why I think I do it, because I've been through so much crap, and I never really got a chance to process it. And now that I'm an adult and I'm processing it and I'm ciphering out what's toxic behavior and what's not, and trying to understand, you know, how to live a healthy lifestyle, that's just my take on it, on why I cry so much. But I don't know, but when I'm going through that, yeah, I cry a lot. So anxiety is the increase of tension, worry, or fear that triggers your fight or flight senses. And there's so many different disorders that fall under anxiety. But I said, you know what, y'all, we're here to learn. So let's talk about it. You have generalized anxiety disorder, where there's a severe ongoing anxiety that interferes with daily activities. You have obsessive compulsive disorder, where there's excessive thoughts that lead to repetitive behavior and unreasonable thoughts and fear that lead to compulsive behavior. Separation anxiety, where you're becoming excessively anxious when separated with something, or clinginess. Post-traumatic stress disorder, where there's persistent mental and emotional stress occurring as a result of injury or severe psychological shock, like experiencing or witnessing a traumatic event. Social anxiety, where everyday social interactions cause irrational anxiety, fear, self-consciousness, and embarrassment, or excessive fear of offending someone. Specific phobias, where there is an intense, irrational fear of something that poses little or no actual danger. Me, myself, personally, I got mad social anxiety. If you watched my Black Sheep video, and I had this conversation with my dad, because he was so strict with me, because I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. Mind you, you know, I had this cousin who was a cheerleader, and I remember she'd have birthday parties and stuff like that, where she was invite all her friends because she was able to go hang out and make friends and stuff like that. But yeah, I wasn't allowed to go nowhere. My dad didn't trust me, and then I got to the point to where I feel like, well, if you don't trust me and I know I'm not doing anything, well, now I'm just gonna start doing it because you're gonna accuse me of doing it anyway. Because now I just feel like you treating me a way that I don't deserve, because I'm not this bad of a child to where I have to be in jail, because that's what it felt like, prison. But anyways, that's another video. He apologized. But it's the things that I experienced with my dad, my mom, my family, feeling stupid and stuff. Just go watch my Black Sheep video and you'll understand why I have social anxiety. But it got so bad to the point to where, like, as I got older, I would Google things, like just different topics, and write down different topics. That's why I have so many different topics that I can do videos on. But I would just research all these different topics because I was always scared that if someone comes to me and like just to have a conversation with me, I would sound stupid. So I would research all these different things so that I could know, like, if they're talking about politics, I can talk about politics. If they're talking about animals, I can talk about animals. It was stupid stuff like that. I'd look up stuff on celebrities. So if we're talking about your favorite rapper or this and that, I can talk about it, because I didn't want to feel stupid and I didn't want to feel left out, like, or just sound like I didn't know what I was talking about, or just sit there and be quiet and lost, because that's what I was mostly, quiet and lost. So even though I researched all that different stuff, I was still just quiet and lost. I've never told anybody this, but I also feel like I kind of deal with obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm trying to get it under control, but it really comes with when someone messes with me, because I feel like as I've gotten older, I've gotten way better at it. But one main thing that will trigger it is if someone's just mean to me or messes with me for no reason. Because y'all, I'm not a mean girl. I don't go out of here and just do stuff like just to be spiteful to people. I just don't. I'm a nice person, and so when someone doesn't like me, it used to really bother me, because I'm like, I'm the nicest person. And so when someone would not like me or do something, I would obsess over why. What was the reason? I mean, I've definitely have gotten better with it over the years. And to all the haters watching this video, trust me, I don't care about you. I'm over it. And it was really just kind of bad when I was younger, and I do little things now. Like as an adult, I've done little things where I'm like, why do I do that? Like, what am I doing? There's little things that I do and I'm like, why? I don't even like this person. Like, why do I care? And so ever since that, I've been taking care of my mental health. Like, I'm not, you know.
After I saw those text messages, I went to Swift Facebook and I find you and I look for you. I'm a stalker. I stalk you, bitch. Like, you judge me.
We don't care. But yeah, I said that I was gonna be honest, so yeah. But there's also another disorder that's very, very common and kind of has a little bit to do with all of these disorders, and I saved it for last because we want to talk about it. But it is the panic disorder. And basically what the panic disorder is, an anxiety attack. So these are some of the things that go on when you're having an anxiety attack. It can feel like you're losing control or like going crazy or blacking out. Your heart rate increases, you know, your heartbeat, you start having chest pain. You can feel like you're gonna pass out. You can pass out. You're having trouble breathing or choking sensation. In some people's cases, they'll turn red, they'll start sweating, and then some people get nauseous and instantly vomit. And it just depends on, once your anxiety is triggered, how severe it can be. You can suffer from constant muscle pain, back pain, lightheadedness, headaches, dizziness, blurred vision, hyperventilating, trembling, or just immediately isolating yourself, like running away. So when I have anxiety attacks, and which this is another one that I didn't say, but I guess it's not common, because when it first started happening to me, I was freaking out. I didn't know what was going on. But when I have an anxiety attack, I get awkwardly itchy, like ants, like, oh my gosh. I literally get awkwardly itchy. And most of the time it's in places that I cannot reach. I don't know why. Like, I don't know. I guess because I'm bringing attention to it. I don't know. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm just not gonna scratch. But I hate when that happens. I hate when it happens because it's so awkward. No one like, cause it's like ants. I will just start scratching, and in a lot of cases, I break out in hives. Now, a lot of people, I don't know how many people, I don't know how common it is for people to break out in hives, but when I get super stressed out, I break out in hives everywhere. And when it first started happening to me, I started doing everything. I was taking the ice baths. I was using what's the lotion called that's super like pink and ashy? Like, I was putting that all over myself. I was taking, nothing really helped until I started taking Zyrtex, and I was like, well, maybe I'm allergic to something, but I wasn't allergic to anything. I was just freaking out. So yeah, I was allergic to freaking out. And then another thing that happens to me when I'm having an anxiety attack is I will vomit. Now, I vomit also when I'm going through depression. Usually when I'm going through depression, I'm also dealing with anxiety at the same time, and it's because I'm depressed and I'm having anxiety about, like, I want to get up, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I can't. I'm trying to figure out why I can't. I feel horrible. Or I'm just sitting there laying in bed all day, and then I get in my own thoughts, and then it just triggers like that. And then like, my heart rate doesn't have to be increased. I don't know, like, just when I'm having anxiety, I just break out in hives. Like, I don't know. And then something else that I do is when I start getting like real bad anxiety, I will vomit. Earlier last year, we had a dog that passed away, and I remember when we took her to the doctor, and we were trying to figure out what was going on. Her stomach was swelling, and that she, you know, she was just declining, and she wouldn't eat or anything. So we took her to the doctor, and we were trying to figure out what was going on. And I remember the moment they told us that there was a chance that she wasn't gonna make it. I almost threw up in the doctor's office. I had to. And when I get like that type of vomit, like I get very, very lightheaded to where I feel like I'm about to just fall and bust my head. Like I can't keep my balance. Everything gets blurry, and I'm trying to keep my stuff together. But yeah, it can get that bad. Sometimes it's just getting a little nauseated, my stomach's hurting, I go throw up. But sometimes it's depending on the situation. Obviously that situation was really, really bad. I couldn't even, once that came out of her mouth, like she had to finish telling my boyfriend basically what was going on, because I immediately, it was so bad that she came out with me trying to show me where the bathroom is, like, because it was just about to come out. Like, yeah. And then sometimes I dry heave like really, really bad. You know how when you haven't ate nothing and you can't vomit? Like, I will do that, like, and that happens a lot when I'm depressed because I'm not eating. So I will just dry heave, like, and y'all, my stomach muscles, when I go through depression, I lose so much weight. And it's because I'm not eating, I'm dry heaving, creating stomach muscles, I have diarrhea, and it's not a good time. I've also experienced trembling, but it's usually when I'm very, very mad. I've been in instances where violence almost gets chosen, and I will start trembling, like literally, like shaking. I will get so mad, I will shake, I will cry. Yeah, and I can't really control it, and it pisses me off because it's like, stop shaking because I'm finna hit you, and like, but sometimes I just shake and I cannot help it. I mean, I shake, like my legs constantly shaking, and it bothers my boyfriend, like, but sometimes I will shake. But I feel like that's something new. I feel like a lot of people do that, so it's not something that just like yells out to me like anxiety. But something else that I do that it's very, very embarrassing is I will rock like back and forth, like just like this, and sometimes it's a comfort to me. And when I was younger, my mother used to tell me, stop rocking back and forth, you look retarded, or stop rocking back and forth because you look like a crazy person and stuff. It's like, yeah. But I couldn't help, like, sometimes I do it and I'm not even realize I do it, and I don't, it's just a comfort. It's the same thing as bouncing my knee to me when I'm rocking back and forth. And sometimes it can be like just a gentle rock back and forth, and then sometimes I'm literally just going to town, rocking like literally back and forth, and I can't help it. I've literally done that since I was a child, and I can remember my mom just getting, like, I remember one day, apparently she had just sat there and like watched me, and she's like, what's wrong with you and stuff. She told me, yeah. I also get cold sweats. Cold sweats is just like kind of like when people get anxiety and they sweat a lot and they're, you know, red and stuff like that. I get cold sweats, and I usually get cold sweats before I vomit. Of course, I've dealt with increase in heart rate, but I've also experienced the choking or very, very hard to breathe. And y'all, this was a thing when COVID started, because yeah, I knew I got anxiety and it would be hard for me to breathe, but then when COVID started, I started getting anxiety that maybe I couldn't breathe because I had COVID. And so I'd be freaking out, and then I can't breathe, and then I'm freaking out because I can't breathe, and then I'd be freaking out because I think I'd have COVID. And then my anxiety will be like, no bitch, like, this is our thing. I do this all the time. Why you being weird?
Why you being weird? Why you being weird to me?
Shortness of breath and the choking sensation and can't breathe. It's not fun at night when you're laying down, but it definitely was worse when all of this C-19 started happening, because in the beginning, when I was having that sensation of not being able to breathe, I would hyperventilate. like when I was younger and stuff. But once I kind of started getting used to it, I guess, I started dealing with it better. But it would used to lead to that, but not as bad now. And then feeling like I'm going to lose it and go crazy. Now, I know some people feel like, oh, every time my anxiety acts up, I feel like I'm gonna lose it, I'm gonna go crazy. No, I know when I'm getting to this point. Out of my whole entire life, I've experienced blackout maybe twice. And like I said, this ain't no, oh, you about to fight so you feel like you finna go crazy. No, like, I can honestly say I've experienced this, like feeling like I'm about to go crazy. I've experienced this, I would say maybe 5 times. Out of my whole entire life, 5 times, where I'm just at that point to where I feel like I'm just gonna go crazy or psychotic. Like, so if you experience any of these, you, my friend, have anxiety. Welcome to the club. You definitely need to get checked out, because some of these things, especially the passing out and blacking out, can be very, very dangerous to your health overall. And understand that a lot of these things are really, really scary. Like having an anxiety attack, you can literally feel like you're going to die. There's been times where I've had an anxiety attack and I literally, like, it's almost to the point to where I want to call the police or go to the hospitals. And y'all, I don't like hospitals. I have anxiety with doctors and stuff like that. I don't like hospitals. But I've had anxiety attacks that were so bad, like I've had to go to the hospital because last time I went, sis got put on medication. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself and make sure you're doing what you need to do, so you ain't gotta go through all that. Cause see me, I'm hard-headed. I'm like, oh, I can deal with this, like it happens all the time. But y'all, no matter how many times that it happens, it's still very, very, very scary to deal with or go through. So what ties all these things together, what ties all these different stress disorders, depression, what ties all these things together, what's the glue of all this, is stress. Sometimes stress alone can be the only and main trigger to your anxiety. Some people just don't handle stressful situations or overwhelming situations the best. Like they just literally cannot deal with it. And understand that this is a chemical imbalance in your brain. So it's not, oh, this person's weak or this person's dramatic. No, like, it's literally an imbalance. It can be an imbalance in your hormones, and it can be just a chemical imbalance in your brain that leads you to doing a lot of these things and feeling a lot of these things. So don't let, like, it's literally an illness, and it can slowly but surely kill you. So please, like, take it seriously and get help and ignore what everybody else is saying, because me personally, I believe that everybody has a little bit something going on with them. I just feel like ain't nobody all there, especially the people who talk about people like, oh, I don't understand, like this person has kids, this person has this person has that, how could you want to kill yourself? Like, for anybody, and I mean anybody, to ever say that, you don't understand what real mental health is. Because when you go through things like that, the thoughts of taking your own life, one of the main things that comes in behind it is the feeling that all of these people are better off without you. You're not thinking of who you're gonna hurt. You're not thinking of, you feel like these people will be better off without you in their lives. Like, you taking yourself out will help these people to flourish, and that they will have one less burden in their life. Because who wants to deal with somebody who has a mental illness, especially when everybody talks about it the way that they do? So let's just try to take it very seriously and help those who we know are going through it. You don't have to understand it. It's not your battle to understand, but understand that it's not a joke. It's not something to be taken lightly. We all can pretty much figure out those people who cry wolf, because there's so many people who cry wolf, who don't want to take accountability or anything like that, and they use it as a crutch. It's a difference between those people and the people who really go through it. And because of those people, it makes it harder for the people who actually go through it, and it adds on to people not opening up, not wanting to talk about it, and just offing themselves because they feel like this isn't a serious thing. And to keep from bothering everybody else with what I'm going through, whether we vent about it or not, like to keep from having that burden of them, of having somebody in their life that's going through this and constantly like, you know, oh my gosh, like you're so dramatic and stuff like just out of here. So if you experience these things, avoid caffeine, nicotine, alcohol, recreational drugs, and of course your triggers. And try to do things to, like, literally self-care just isn't for, oh, I want pretty skin, so I'm gonna do self-care and put on a face mask. Oh, I want, you know, longer hair, so I'm gonna oil my hair today and call it self-care. No. Self-care, if you're going through anxiety especially, self-care is to literally, what it says, to take care of self. So if you're going through any of these things, try to incorporate things to help with the things that you're going through, or to help with your anxiety, because there's so many forms of anxiety relief that can really help you. Just start incorporating it more, even in your daily routine. And those are things like just making sure you get an extra hour of sleep, making sure you get a good amount of sleep if you haven't been able to sleep. You know, sometimes if you're going through anxiety and depression, your doctor will give you something to help you sleep because you're not sleeping, which is why it's important to let your doctor know what's going on, because your doctor knows what's best for your health. Getting out of town, sometimes you need a safe space, and sometimes you can have so much stress going on. Like, have you ever just gone out of town and just the fact that you're not in the area or not home, you feel so much more relief. Like, even if it's just getting in your car and going to the next city and just getting a room for a night or two or whatever, ordering some food, staying in the room. You ain't even got to go out and do stuff. Sometimes it's literally just taking a drive out of the city and creating a safe place if you don't have one. It just helps to create a space so that you can have a certain mindset. It's like cleaning your house sometimes. It's just like cleaning your mindset, just getting out of the toxic space. Exercise can really help, not only with your anxiety and depression, but with your body. Practicing relaxing and doing things like yoga and deep breathing. Sometimes people gotta count. Start counting. Some people need to go to a safe place or create a safe place. I am in the process of doing that. You will see in my upcoming vlogs when I go home, because right now I'm in Montana, but when I go home, I do have my own little room that I will be deep cleaning and just rearranging to my liking. So yeah, stay tuned. Off track, but anyways, other things can be off track, but anyways, some people need to have objects, or just something as simple as focusing on an object. I know some people have stress toys and just different things that help them whenever they're having an anxiety attack, or just whenever they're depressed, or anything. Now, I definitely find satisfaction in certain objects. I used to be obsessed with snow globes. I could sit there and stare at a snow globe for hours. And something that I've noticed about myself, my grandma has always kept a lot of statues in her house, mainly angels, because she loves angels. My grandma, she'll get any painting, any statue, anything of angels, she has it. And my grandma has like some white angels in her house, but she mainly has black angels, and they are so gorgeous, and some of them have glitter on them, and they're just so pretty. And sometimes I will literally sit there and stare at them until I fall asleep. I don't know what it is about them. They're just, even when I go to her house, and I've been to her house a million times, but when I go to her house, I will literally go from it because my grandma, she's extra, so she has thousands of angels, but I will go to every show and I will look at every angel and nobody ever noticed. And one of the last things that I'm going to talk about is essential oils. Different scents, different smells. It has the same effect on you, such as focusing on an object. like your senses, like sight and smell. Sometimes certain smells can really help you with your breathing or just simply calm you down. And the most common one is lavender. Of course, we all know that lavender can help you sleep or just help you relax. The scent that I am loving right now, you guys know I love my rain scent, so I'm always buying rain scented incense. I love them. I also have this new, well, it's not really new, I've been like with it for a while now, but I also like the meditation incense. They smell really good. But one of the main scents that I've been really into lately is eucalyptus. Eucalyptus, the smell, I actually want to get one of those plants that people put in the shower, the eucalyptus thing that's like tied onto the shower head. I really want to get one of those just because I don't know, I got a candle from Bath and Body Works that was, I think it was just straight up eucalyptus, or it was mixed with something else. It might have been mint, but ever since then I like have been stuck on it and I love it. So don't just get stuck on one. It's always nice and fun to try multiple scents to see what they bring out of you, because different objects and scents and smells and stuff like that can trigger different things in your brain and body, and you never know. You have to learn your body for yourself. So just like depression and anxiety is a chemical imbalance with your brain and stuff like that, and certain things can trigger your brain, it's the same thing with these objects or like exercising or just the different things that you're doing. It has the same effect. It's just a positive effect instead of a negative. And the last thing that I want to put on here, because you guys know I believe in God, I'm a Christian, and it has helped me so much with my journey. And I can't just end this video, like, even if you don't believe in God and stuff like that, I respect your decision and stuff like that, but I cannot just end this video without, you know, just giving my testimony, because I know how much my spiritual journey has helped me when it has come to my mental health. And so pray, like praying, when I started going back to church regularly and really working hard on my relationship with God and giving faith, I started finding answers to a lot of things. My depression and anxiety, now don't get me wrong, it's bad, but it's not as bad as it was. And when I would go through my phases, they would be more gapped. I wouldn't like be through a 3-month depression period, and it wasn't until I really started getting on my spiritual journey that I stopped having those thoughts of taking my own life. Like, I got serious about my faith and everything like that, and I made a promise to God and to myself that I will never, because I used to pray that I would die in my sleep. And the reason why I'm still here now is because I am chicken shit. Like, there's times where I have attempted or tried to take my own life, but I'm scared of pain. There's been times where I've been at the medicine, I'm so bad at it. And then there was this spirit that like, well, if I'm not successful, my mom is gonna kill me. So I got to the point to where I just started praying that I wouldn't wake up. And it wasn't until I got serious about my faith and really trying to, you know, turn my life around that, you know, I made that promise with God. And I mean, I remember this clear as day. It was nighttime. I drove all the way to the church and was sitting in the church parking lot crying. And, you know, I haven't, you know, since that day, I have not wished anything like that on myself. I haven't. I go through hard times and stuff like that, but you know, I never let it get that severe. And I told myself, if it ever gets that severe again, I will go get help. But my spiritual journey is the main thing, and then removing myself from the toxic place that I was in. You know, my environment and my surroundings also had a lot to do with why I felt that way. And you know, my spiritual journey got me out of it. My spiritual journey gave me the strength to remove myself from the situation and understand that removing myself from the situation would be 100 times better than me trying to off myself, because that's all that I needed. So yeah, I still go through what I go through and it's hard, but I still have my faith and I am still blessed beyond measures. And so yeah, I just had to say that at the end of this, because you know, it's not for everybody, but for y'all who do believe in it, for y'all that do try, or if you're just willing to try, like, just try it. And if you just need extra help on trying to figure out how to take care of yourself or how to do the correct self-care, you can always go back and watch my video on the 8 areas of self-care, because it literally breaks down what you need to do in all the areas or the aspects of your life, and just how to take better care of yourself. So those are all the tips that I have. Don't be afraid or ashamed to jump in the comment section and put some things down there that may have helped you, or some things that you were going through, or if you want to message me privately, I will definitely message you back and help you out with whatever you are going through. Or if you just need somebody to talk to, I will definitely be a lending ear. So don't forget to check out my social medias, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys Friday.